Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. This message is brought to you in part by the Michigan Care Network at michigancarenetwork.com. And the topic that we're going to be discussing today is how to choose the right durable medical equipment supplier. Now, there's a few large national companies out there that supply durable medical equipment. But did you also know that there's hundreds of smaller regional suppliers across the country that would love to have your business? I know that there's even some in Michigan. So, if you have the opportunity to choose your own supplier, or you're in the process of trying to find a new supplier, you'll want to consider the following questions. The first being staffing. Is there enough staff, or will they come to my home? You want to make sure that there's specialists that are on hand at all time to answer any questions that you have about the equipment that you're inquiring about. So you should always know how many trained professionals are employed by the company that you are considering. You may be surprised that some don't have as many as you would expect. If you often have questions about your equipment, you want to direct those questions directly to the specialist. You don't want to ask the receptionist, you don't want to ask their accountant, you want to ask the specialist specifically to get the best medical answer. Another question that you can also ask them is how long have they been there? If there's a high turnover rate, if they've only been there for a couple months, that may be a warning sign of bad service. The second thing you want to consider when you're looking for a new durable medical equipment supplier is the insurance that they accept. Do they accept your insurance? If you're under Medicare or Medicaid, there's been a lot of debate over Medicare and Medicaid and what it covers for durable medical equipment, so you may have a difficult time finding the right vendor that can supply you with the equipment you need that's covered under your insurance plan. So always check with the vendor first to see what is covered under your Medicare and Medicaid plan. Another thing that you can consider is using private insurance. If you have private insurance or you're thinking about having private insurance, you're going to want to read over that policy very carefully. Some have caps for durable medical equipment rentals, and you should make sure that the supplier you are researching will accept that coverage. If you do have a cap, you'll want to discuss this with your supplier before committing to that company. Your insurer may have a contractual price with the supplier, and that probably won't be passed along until the cap is reached, so you'll want to double check your policy. Always read through your policies very carefully, especially when it comes to insurance. The third thing that you want to consider when you're looking for a new durable medical equipment supplier, travel. Do you travel a lot? I know that I do. I love to travel. So you'll want to inquire about the company's network of locations and their travel policies. Do they have branches across the country, across the world? Do they carry all the comparable equipment that will fit your needs? Don't always assume that your equipment is available, so you always want to double check with the network of suppliers. So, another thing that you need to consider is the responsiveness. How quick and how helpful are they? When you're calling to determine a company, when you're looking at these durable medical suppliers, you want to consider the following questions. Does a real person answer your phone calls? Or do you have to navigate through a complicated voicemail system? Pressing 1, 2, 3, that won't be very beneficial for you if you're in an emergency, so you want to take that into consideration. When and if you finally reach someone, are they helpful? Are they knowledgeable about the equipment that you're inquiring about? Did you get a call back with a follow-up? Were they actually concerned about your needs? You want to make sure that you're getting taken care of. So if you feel like you're getting the runaround or they seem too busy to help, this will tell you a great deal about the service that you might expect from that company. Number 5, the actual equipment that they're supplying. Does your supplier carry the equipment that you need? Make sure that the equipment you need is available from the company that you are inquiring about. Ask them which brands, manufacturers that they use, and the cost that it would cost you under your insurance policy or even out of pocket. Consider renting versus owning. If they suggest a different brand than the one that was recommended, be sure you do your research on the equipment that they offer. One of the last things you need to consider is service. What is their schedule and criteria for a fill and delivery? It's very common that when you use durable medical equipment that you might need a refill for it or you might need a new delivery. You want to be sure that this company can meet your needs. Some of the larger suppliers may only come weekly or every 2 weeks, while others have few hard and fast rules about this. So many of us like to keep enough supplies on hand in case of emergencies, but you want to make sure that you can get the service that you're looking for. Find out what service they can give you and keep that in consideration when you're looking at these different suppliers. And lastly, in a case of emergency, I hope this never happens to you, but emergencies do happen, so who will you call? Can you call them? Most durable medical equipment suppliers do not deliver supplies on the weekend except in emergency situations. Find out if a specialist is on call after hours. This would be going back to when you're calling these places, you want to make sure that they have a specialist on call, especially for emergencies when you need them. So you'll want to call back and ask about this before an emergency occurs. So to sum everything up, we want to encourage you to be proactive in finding the best durable medical equipment provider for you, and also the best equipment for your needs. So don't assume a national chain will give you better service than a regional firm. One office of a large chain can provide excellent service while another office may be ranked very low, depending on where you're traveling or the situation that you're in. So if you make a few calls and do some homework, you'll stand a better chance to finding the best provider for your situation. So if you guys like the information that you saw in this video, if you want to learn some more, come visit us at MichiganCareNetwork.com, or you can give us a call at 1-313-422-3004. That's 313-422-3004.